Hello, Stars. My name is Blue, and today we are lost in Morrigan in the Shadow by Seth Dickinson. Capella 1-8. She's falling into the singularity. Straight off her nose, sprouted in the warp of its masses, is the black hole that ate 100 million colonists in the hope of all mankind. So Laporte throttles up, her fighter rattles with the fury of its final burn. Spaceflight is about orbits. That's how the one thing relates to another up here. I roll around you, I try to pull away, you try to pull me in. If we don't smash each other apart, or skip away into the void, maybe we can negotiate something stable. But Laporte has learned that sometimes you just need to fall. Her instruments don't understand what's happening. They're military avionics, built to hunt and kill other warships, other people, in cold, flat space. Thus, Laporte flies her final mission in a screaming constellation of arrows, cautions, icy out-of-range warnings, an array of winter-colored protest from the machine that doesn't know where it is or why it's about to die. She wants to pat the spaceship, a lovely, lethal, hard-worn Uriel gunship, built under Martian skies, the skies of her lover's childhood. On its nose and say, there. I know exactly how you feel. I'm with you, man. This shit is beyond me. But it's not beyond her. She knows why she's here. Laporte never thought she'd be a good soldier. Certainly she never planned to be an exceptional killer, or a mutineer leading a revanchist fleet up out of Earth's surrender and into a crusade across the length of human space. Or in her final act as a human being, if she dares make claim to that title anymore. The avatar of an omnicidal alien power with no intelligence, no awareness, and a billion-year-old cosmic imperative to destroy all higher thought. But she is all those things now, born from the tragedy of war, as unnecessary as it was inevitable. Shaped by the combat and command, and between it all pulling the opposite direction, the love of the finest woman she's ever met. After all of that, after Sims, and Nagari, and the Revelation Kin, she shows why she's here. She knows what force plucked her out of paradise and fired her down the trajectory of her short, violent life. To this distant terminus, where the universe folds behind her into a ring of light, everything she loves, everyone she's hurt, receding. She knows what she's come to kill, the object of her last assassination. "Boss, this is Morgan," she tells her flight recorder. "I'm descending towards the target." That's what she calls Sims, even now. Not love. Boss. There are 3 stories here, although they are all one. What happened in Capella at the end. What happened with Nagari at the beginning. What happened to Noemi Laporte and Lorna Sims, which is the most important story, and the one that binds the others. It begins with the war, and with Lorna Sims. Sims, 1 out of 9. For a long time, long enough to murder tens of thousands of people, Laporte thought Sims was dead. They fought for the United Earth Federation in the war against the Colonist Alliance. Laporte and Sims were Federation combats, Squadron VFX-01 to FM/FG 2101 Indus, the War Gods, Captain Lorna Sims commanding. And they were good, so good. They felt like 2 fists on a drunken boxer, moved by instinct and killjoy. Of course, a boxer has a body as well as a pair of fists, but they tried not to consider the shape of what connected them. It wasn't love or lust alone, they were soldiers, and their discipline held. Nor was it only respect or fear or sly admiration. Sims, the captain, leader of killers, and Laporte, her faithful wingman, who was the finest killer. And they fought to save their Federation. their happy humanist utopia, the Earth and Mars and the Jupiter moons, a community of people making each other better. They fought hard. The war is a civil war, as intimate and violent and hard to name as the bond between Laporte and Sims, an apocalyptic exchange of fratricides between the Federation and its own far-flung interstellar colonist, the Alliance. For a little while, long enough to give them hope, Laporte and Sims and their war gods almost won the war. And then the Alliance clockmaker admiral, the cryogenic bastard Steele, set a trap. It caught Sims, Laporte, and their whole squadron. Everyone died. It was like a lesson. No band of heroes will save you. No soldiers bound by law or decency. Out of that ambush, Sims and Laporte flew each other to refuge. But it was not refuge enough. The war was in their bones and flesh now. Sims was dying, poisoned by radiation. So they sat together on a crippled warship and talked about anything but each other. Remember that? After the ambush at Saturn? Remember adjusting Sims's blanket and pressing your cheek to her throat, hoping she'd live long enough for the both of you to die together, as you've always dreamed? Laporte's dreams are not, it turns out, wholly her own. The Alliance was winning. They agreed. Neither of them could see a way to avoid defeat. Neither of them would admit that to each other. Not defeat, nor the other thing between them. Sims passed out. Laporte stayed by her side. And then a rescue ship came, and it came with Al-Alima, the woman with the gunmetal eyes and the shark-sleek uniform of a Federation Black Ops officer. She came to tempt Laporte away from Sims, with the promise of her other love, victory. Al-Alima came to offer Laporte a chance at victory, and she named the agents of that victory Nagari. Nagari 1 out of 10. What is victory? Only a fool goes to war without an answer. The Alliance is winning. Has won. What is their victory condition? Their grievance? The fatal casus belli that sparked it all. The Federation is a gentle state, built on Ubuntu, a philosophy of human condition. So they say, the war began because the Alliance couldn't stand to be alone. They spent 2 decades rebuilding the severed wormhole to Earth, so they could demand reunification, so they could mobilize our thriving economy to build their warships, so they could galvanize our culture of war. What the Alliance asked the Federation is what the woman Al-Alima asked Laporte, as they stood together over the radiation-cooked body of Lorna Sims. Give up your gentle ties. Come with me towards victory. Become a necessary monster. When the Federation refused to militarize, the Alliance invaded. It was their only hope. Either they gained the Federation's riches, or they faced the Nemesis alone. Laporte, she made the other choice. The one her beautiful home could not. She went with Al-Alima. She joined the phantom atrocity makers called Nagari, and she discovered her own final hope, her endgame for Federation victory. It'll require the extermination of the entire Alliance population. So be it. She is an exceptional killer. She proved that after she left Sims. That's how she ended up here, at this raging Death Star at the edge of Alliance space, this monument to the power of the alien nemesis, the tomb of Capella. Capella 2 out of 8. Back in the now, and someone's chasing her. She sniffs him out by the light of his engines. Something comes through the wormhole behind her and starts its own plunge towards the terrible, empty, fire-crowned black hole. Laporte grins and knocks her helmet twice against her ejection seat. Crash, crash. Polymer applause for the mad gentleman on her trail. She knows who it is. She's glad he's come. She tumbles the Uriel in for M so that she's falling ass first into oblivion, and her nose is aimed back up towards the universe. There's a ring of night and bent starlight all around her, where the black hole's gravity bends space. But up above, as if at the top of the well, are the receding stars. And there he is, a fierce blue light which resolves into the molybdenum, great sword shaped of an Alliance strike carrier, Atreus, Steel's flagship. 2.5 kilometers of tactical divinity. Admiral Neokachi, 2 whiles still, prosecuted the war in the Soul Theater, a game of remorseless speed chase of 15 billion pawns in play. In the end, after the Federation exhausted all its gambits and defenses, save one, that one called Nagari, he won the war. He's a perfectionist still, a man of etiquette and fine dress. A man who moves like a viper or a Kinshasa runway model. He makes intricate clockwork plans, predicted on perfect understanding of his opponent's behavior. He cannot abide for error. He made the only one. Nowhere in the final hours of the war, the Mars Gambit, the desperate defense and ultimate failure of Shambhala, did he send enough hunter-killers to eradicate Laporte. And now he has come a-howling after her, propelled by portents and terrors operating on the desperate improvised logic. That logic might be, if she wants it, I cannot permit it. If Laporte reaches for a thing, I must deny it to her. She is too dangerous to ever have a victory. It must be something else. It's dangerous to let your enemy understand your war logic. Sims 2 out of 9. There are 3 stories here. They all matter. One is the story of Laporte at Capella, trying to kill billions. That's the ending. One story is of Laporte leaving Sims for Nagari, in the name of victory. That's the beginning. But in between them is another story, because the road for victory to genocide passes through love. In this middle part, the Federation's civilian government surrendered to the Alliance. And here, in the ashes, Laporte found Sims alive. Sims found Laporte still barely human. They each found the other in the cold, scorched wolf pack of the Federation Navy, lurking on the edge of the solar system and contemplating mutiny. This story is the most important because it was Laporte's last chance to be a person again. So Laporte reaches for Sims. She wants to be close again. She wants to come back. They're laying side by side in the Avonix Bay of Laporte's fighter, an alloy coffin as cold as treason, mostly empty. The terms of the ceasefire have stripped all military electronics from the Federation Navy. Like their uniforms, taken too. They work in gym clothes and mechanic overalls. Whenever they breathe, the vapors spill out white like a soup breach. Every 10 minutes, a dehumidifier clicks on. Sim shivers, her hands rattle, and she breaks the test pen she's using against the teeth of a server stack. Shit, she says, closing her eyes. Fuck. She survived radiation poisoning, but surviving a wound doesn't erase it. You only rebuild yourself around the scar. Laporte knives at the reset switch up, down, up, down. They'll start over. Slowing me down, boss, she says, trying to take Sim's fear and judo it around, make it funny, disarm its violence. Slowing me down. Fuck you too, Sims clenches and unclenches her fist, one finger at a time. She's longer than Laporte, and stronger. Before she soaked up 15 grays of ionizing radiation, she could always keep up. You try figure-banging a combat spaceship after a lethal dose. Laporte makes a wah-wah baby noise. Sims laughs. They work for a few more minutes, and soon they've made the fighter ready to hold combat software in the spare memory of its navigational systems. If they're going to mutiny, the mutiny needs its fighters. And Laporte is planning a mutiny. Sims puts down the test pen and shivers from her scalp to her toes. She looks silver gold, arid. She is the child of Mongolian steppe, an American range, and the desert of Mars. She's used to the cold. Laporte's afraid that it's not the cold making her shiver. Sims has been listening the last few days as Laporte lifts her scabs and talks about Nagari and about her plan for victory. They took out all my bone marrow, Sims says. I'm full of fake bone shit. Medical goo. Laporte rolls into her old words in a pilot's brevity code. Boss, Morgan, tally, visual, press. It's you. I'm me. I see you. I'll protect you. And Sim puts an arm around her. Laporte kisses her under the jaw, very softly, and rests her ear against Sim's collarbone. There's a plastic button rubbing into her cheek, but she doesn't mind. Seems to work okay, she says. She looked up radiation therapies, desperate transplant of reprogrammed skin cells, and collagen glue. She imagined them peeling the skin off Sim's thighs to fill up her bones. Yeah, Sim's heart is slowing down, soothing out. It can't find the flight it's looking for. It can't find the flight it's looking for. Or it's disciplining itself for what's to come. I still work. Laporte looks up from her collarbone to look her in the eye. Are you going to fly with me? Will she fly in the mutiny? Laporte's grand plan. Nagari's final hope. The Federation has surrendered, but its soldiers, its guardian monsters, do not consent to Alliance rule. They were made to win. I don't know yet, Sim says, looking at her hands. Whatever she says next will be an invasion. I need to know more about your operational plan. I need to know more about what you've become and what you got up to without me, while I was in the tank with my skin peeling off and glue in my blood. I need you out there, Laporte says. She means it to be business, pilot chatter, a technical requirement, but she's thinking about how she left Sims. How it might have seemed to Sims. That she had been expended, cast off as spent ordnance. Sims makes a soft sound, like she's too tough or too happy to cry. The dehumidifier wakes up to dry out their words. I'm gonna stop it there because I can't stop coughing. But we're not even halfway through the story. I scrolled all the way down to the bottom. It's a pretty decently long story. I'm hoping to get it done in maybe 3 or 4 parts. That's it for today's stories. If you liked the video, please give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already to join our wonderful galaxy. Comment down below and I'll get back to you in some way or another. And I'll see you for our next adventure. Remember, we're all made of the same cosmic dust, so be nice. Okay, love you. Bye!